Welcome in everyone to Bet Win Repeat. I'm your host, Hannah Mears. You can follow my social medias at Mears Hannah. You can get my Mearsy Minutes on a daily basis by liking, subscribing, follow along with Picks and Parlays as well. All over social media, we're giving you my daily best bet. Also, don't forget, those will be available as well as everything else Picks and Parlays on our new Picks and Parlays app. Download that, available on all mobile device platforms. This is our Bet Win Repeat show where we are giving you a ton of betting content, some relevancy within the sports world as well, some of the most relevant topics that are happening right now. We're going to get to talking CFL, MLB, NFL a little bit, and of course the U.S. Women's National Team since their World Cup roster was just announced. So make sure you stick around with us for just a bit. Also, don't forget, tonight at midnight, Beers with Mirrors, a new episode is dropping. And I'm excited to announce that is going to be with Journey Brown. For anybody who was a Penn State football fan or a college football fan, he was Penn State's running back when they won the Cotton Bowl in 2019-2020 season. Shortly after that, he got COVID, like most of us did back in 2020. And in order for athletes to get back into participation of sport, they had to go through numerous health exams. Well, during his health exam, he was diagnosed with HCM. So it's a basically thickening of the heart walls. The doctors told him that his was one of the worst cases they've seen. And if he would have played football that year and got hit by a defensive lineman, he would have been probably found dead on the football field from impact. He had to retire his career early, hang up his cleats, and now has found a new passion outside of football and is a part of the Trackhouse Racing developmental pit crew. So he will be changing front tires for NASCAR drivers, which is super exciting. He talks so much in depth about what the process is to become a pit crew member, what it's like being involved in NASCAR. He talked about thinking that NASCAR was a giant stereotype of beer drinking, guys chewing, dirty facilities, changing tires. And when he got to Trackhouse Racing, he was in shock about what he actually found. And he's loving the diverse atmosphere and being able to train and be a part of a team again. So his story is one you don't want to miss. He also talks about the future of Penn State football, the running back situation, why running backs should get paid more in the NFL, as well as so much more. So Beers with Mirrors airs tonight at midnight, Picks and Parlays YouTube page. You can also find it available on Spotify. Don't miss a single second of what's going on. Season 1 is almost coming to an end, so you can find all of that by subscribing to Picks and Parlays. All right. Also, don't forget, if you want to be a part of any of our contests over at Picks and Parlays, join the Picks and Parlays Facebook contest page over on Facebook. Go ahead, like that page, and you can be a part of our weekly and monthly contest. Also, don't forget, head over to our website, picksandparlays.net. We're running a promo where you can use code MLB that will save you 20% off of the entire site. I hope you all are having a wonderful day tuning into Bet Win Repeat. Someone who's not having such a good day is our guy, Terry. You can follow him at Let's Go Wild Picks. We'll bring him in. He's not having the greatest day today with baseball. He's been venting a little bit. He doesn't want to talk about it. We get it. But that's a part of betting, right? You win some, you'll lose some, even if we're in a slump. Terry was doing so good that I think you're due for something, right? It's okay. You're due for a bad day every once in a while.
MLB has not been going how I want it to, and that's just how it's going. But luckily, CFL, number one in the site, still 5-0, up 5.6 units. So it's been a great start in the CFL, and looking to keep that going this week.
I had a CFL bet last week that hit on both fronts, which was really exciting. And the CFL was hard to bet on at first because the first 2 weeks you really don't know what to expect, and it's not as consistent as what something like the NFL is, where you really know and get a better feel of a team right away. But it definitely was easier to predict when you look at some of these teams, and you could figure out who might be a guaranteed win based off of last year, but more so based off of the fact that some of these games can be a lot lower scoring than you would expect them to be, and things are just a bit different. For anyone looking to get into betting in the CFL, what are some teams that they should be following right now or that you think would be good bets?
Well, there's two teams that are at the top and everybody else is down. So Winnipeg is by far the best team in the CFL. We're going for their third championship in a row. Unfortunately, lost to Toronto in the Grey Cup there, but they've continued their success this year. BC also a very good team, but after that, there's a drop off. And in the CFL, the West is much stronger than the East. We've seen that for quite a few years now. So you want to look at Western teams, and you want to fade Edmonton and Ottawa, especially Edmonton is a team you want to bet against. 18 straight home losses. Um, they showed last week on the road that they're not going to probably win very many games on the road either. So Edmonton is a team that I'm looking to fade, um, for the most part, looking how to fade them is the first way I look at. Once I see them on the schedule, who they're facing, can I fade the Elks? And if I can, that's the first step I make.
All right, so fade those teams. I actually was with the BC Lions as well. They seem like a good team to ride for. So glad you said that. I was on the right page. You were how? What was your record with CFL the last few weeks? Or yeah,
Yeah, so I'm 5-0, five and
five.
zero so
Oh,
far.
undefeated.
Yeah.
See, the CFL is going well for you.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. So I have 2 plays up on the site, as premium plays, which you can get. But I also have a free play that I just put up today, which I'll go over if that's okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So this
Sure.
game here, it is on. Let me check to make sure I have the right day here. I believe it is Saturday. Yes, Saturday. So what's something new to the CFL this week or this year is they're playing Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So one game a day, but it's great because it means football for the 7 days. So I absolutely love that, that the CFL decided to do that this year. The game I want to talk about is on Saturday between Saskatchewan and Calgary. Both teams 1-1 to start off the season. Um, but I like Saskatchewan here. Saskatchewan, if you look at their last game against Winnipeg, they lost 45-27, and you may look at that and think, "Oh, they got smashed by Winnipeg." They were holding their own in the first half, in the third quarter, for the most part. They were holding their own against Winnipeg, but Winnipeg is far, far, far a better team, and they were able to beat Saskatchewan. Calgary is a different story. Calgary lost the first game of their season against BC, and then um, they beat Ottawa in week 2. Beating Ottawa is not that impressive. A lot of teams are going to beat Ottawa this year, so that doesn't really impress me too much. Um, where I think Saskatchewan has the advantage here is at quarterback, and if
Mhm.
you watch football or if you're into football, you may know that quarterback is one of the most important positions. Now, I know some people may debate that. We
Slightly,
could get into
slightly
a debate,
important.
but a quarterback is a very important position. Um, Saskatchewan has the better quarterback here, and I like them as a dog. I won't be surprised if they win outright, but I have them up on the site, and I bet the +3.5 here. I think that's a good number. If you can get the +4.5, of course, take that as well. But I like Saskatchewan here in this
Yeah,
game.
I think it's safe to bet, especially early on with the better quarterback. When you watch the CFL, you can see how drastically different a performance can be based on your quarterback play. This isn't the type of league like the NFL where a running back's going to have a crazy game where something, is going to go wildly different. But if you have a good quarterback, you're going to at least find the end zone. And this is a point scoring league. So whoever can find the end zone the most. I know that's basic to say, but if you watch a game, you'll know what I mean. Because there are times when you're watching a game and teams are getting shut out frequently. So it's definitely something that a quarterback, I would say, is weighed more heavily in this league, without a doubt. That is what your game plan is going to be around. I want to ask you before you leave really quick, your Blue Jays right now up 5-0 on the Marlins after struggling in an 11-0 defeat. I mean, we knew the Blue Jays were bound to have a bad game once, but against the Marlins, a team that's going to be hot lately, how are you feeling about the Blue Jays in that series?
Yeah, well, I was on them for the no, sorry, I was not on them for the 11-0 game because I did not like the price. And then for the first time all season, last yesterday against Kikuchi, I took Miami. I bet against the Blue Jays for the first time last yesterday because of how well Miami hits lefties. I
Mhm.
thought they're going to hit Kikuchi well. Perez is going to have a great game. Perez did have a great game. Kikuchi also had a great game, and then the Jays won 2-0 at the end. So it was a very hard time for me because I was happy that the Jays won, but it's like, really, this is the game you had to win. So it was not. Baseball's not going well for me right now.
Yeah,
I'll
Al
just be
Contra,
honest.
though, I'm really surprised at what's happening with him. I thought this would be a game he'd play a little bit better in. I know he hasn't had success against the Blue Jays in the past, but he's having a little bit of a struggle bus of a season. And the second inning is where the Blue Jays got all of their runs so far. So I'm just a little surprised because I picked this game on the under 7.5. Now it could still hit there based off of what happens, but because of the pitching, everyone was waiting to see this pitching matchup, right? So I was just a little thrown off by how this goes, and it's going to make me look at good old Sandy a little bit different coming into the next few weeks of baseball.
He's struggled so much.
Mm-hmm.
He's struggled. He did come out. He did have a good start a
Mm-hmm.
couple starts ago, but he's what's happened to him is a big mystery.
Yeah.
Because last year Cy Young winner, if he wasn't playing a divisional opponent, you couldn't beat him. The
Mm-hmm.
only way to beat him is if you were in his division for some reason. Teams did well against him, but everyone else outside of his division couldn't beat him. And now this year, uh, anyone can come out and beat him. So it's weird. It's weird. That's how baseball works. Like, it's weird sport.
It's weird, it's interesting, it's all the things, but we've got all the picks for you over on picksandparlays.net. If you use promo code MLB, you get 20% off of the entire site. Terry, I hope you go and have a better day, and I hope the CFL makes you make some money back this week. Everyone check him out over on our site as well. Thanks so much for stopping by on Bet Win Repeat, Terry. Always a pleasure to talk to you.
No problem. See you later.
All right, everyone, you can always head over to picksandparlays.net. We've got so much going on there, but we're going to bring some of our handicappers to you too on Bet Win Repeat. The next one, we've got Cam the Man coming on. Always love talking to Cam and see how he's going and how his picks are going and how he's doing. So Cam, how have your picks been the past couple of weeks? Are you having a better day than Terry is?
My plays haven't started yet, so I'm cool right now. So yeah, I would say yeah. I don't have anything starting. So right now at this moment, yeah, everything's going cool. Everything's going good.
Yeah, I'm sweating mine out a little bit right now, but TBD on how we're all going to be feeling tonight. I think the one thing I hate the most about having to bet baseball is how late the lines come out. I feel like I'm just waiting and watching for things so late that I'm waking up early in the morning to give these picks. So baseball, can we do anything about this? Can we try to make these come out a little bit sooner? It would be nice based off of everyone's schedule. Are you okay? Is your house burning? Or was that sound coming from you?
Yeah, that sound was from me. The dogs are just
It's just the dogs. It's just the dogs.
It's
We're good.
just
Okay.
a whole thing. But yeah, that was from me. I do apologize. But no, I'm doing okay. You know, baseball has been pretty good to me. Basketball and hockey was pretty good to me. Hockey was good to me. Surprisingly, I don't do a lot of hockey, but it was pretty good to me. And everything's okay on my end right now.
Well, we love to hear that everything's okay on your end. Everything should be okay today. It's a great day for U.S. women's national team fans as well. Getting that roster for the World Cup finally released. Now, some things were thrown into the lineup this year we knew weren't going to happen. That Mal Swanson was injured during her professional play, and so now she will not be on that roster. But Alyssa Thompson, the youngest member ever on the roster, 18 years old. Tell me this. Can you even imagine the weight of the world being on your shoulders, graduating high school, not college? This girl has just graduated high school and will now be on a World Cup roster in place of essentially of what I'm thinking would have probably been Mal Swanson. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I feel like she's probably taken Mal's spot here. And you know, it's nothing against Alyssa because you know she's fantastic. But she's filling that void that was Trinity Rodman. You know, that was the big thing. You know, Trinity signed a huge professional contract, biggest contract ever. You know, She's on the team. Trinity is also on this team, but you know, Alyssa's been a smoke show for a while. At 15, she committed to play for Stanford. You know, so she was locked in, projected to be a pro from a younger age. But unlike some of the other professional sports in America, college isn't needed in soccer. And, you know, she decommitted from Stanford. She was the number 1 pick not too long ago, and now she's Angel City. number one pick, and she's a pro, and now she's going to play in the World Cup. It's
So
shocking, but not so shocking with somebody who's had this aura and this following around her for, it's crazy to say, so many years already, but she's been something else since she was about 15.
I like this because it switches up the U.S. roster, right? They've been so dominant in World Cup play and in international play in general the past few years that maybe this throws a wrench into some other teams' plans, seeing some girls that are so young and not really knowing how that could play out for them. She could be a game changer in a lot of ways. So talented nonetheless. You don't get on this team without being talented, but I think it's always great to see the usuals back as well. You love to see Megan Rapinoe. I know that was one of your reactions. Was Megan Rapinoe on the team again? Will this be her last? When will she be done? And then you see a girl like Alex Morgan. So many of these veterans on the team, I think, is what is so comforting going into the World Cup. So seeing some of these veterans' names, who are you most excited to see pop up on this list again?
Yeah, those two for sure. Crystal Dunn is back with the team. She took some time. I don't think she was there for a little while. Rose Lavelle is back on the team. Julie Ertz is on the team. So, Kelly O'Hara is on the team. So they have that core group of veterans who have made a ton of appearances, scored a ton of goals, and they have a ton of hardware. There's a lot of women on this team who have won a lot of games, and now with the youth coming in with them, I think it's going to make us that much better. And a lot of those girls who I just named, with the exception probably of Megan, are going to be on the team for probably even the next World Cup, because they're not older. I'm not saying Megan's crazy old, but Megan's been dominating the sport for a while, and this may be her curtain call. This may be the end for her, but no, this team is loaded top to bottom, and I think they're going to do well.
Yeah, I love the fact we're seeing Julie Ertz back into things. I mean, it was just a few months ago where she was deciding where she was going to play in the next step of her career. And I think she is the type of person that when she's on this team, she's a bruiser in the back. She's hard to compete against because she's tough as nails. And her head in the box is one of the most deadly headers from scoring position, I would say, across the board internationally in women's professional soccer. She is a huge target for them in there, and we've seen that time and time again. So if you see the U.S. women's national team as an underdog in some of these games, I would be riding that. I'd be putting so much money on them because this is a team that knows how to win in the big moments. And I'm not really sure as to why they're an underdog at times. Maybe it's because of the veteran presence seeming like it's starting to be seniority. Maybe it's because of some of those star players not being there. Now they've got young talent, but I've seen the U.S. women's national team as an underdog. And if I'm a betting woman, to which I am, I'm betting on the U.S. women's national team, a team that knows what it takes to win and has the veteran presence mixed with this young fire. What are your thoughts on that if you see them as an underdog at all?
Yeah, it's weird that they could be an underdog, but it happens because, like you said, the youth, the lack of veteran leadership, But Vlatko, he runs a very tight ship. He coaches us well. These girls are going to be ready, and the entire roster can be on the field, but the abundance of talent top to bottom is overwhelming from this team. But we always have a target on our back. Everywhere they go, everything they do, oh, she said this, she said that, they did this, but we win. Team USA wins. And unless you are the winner, people hate winners. So people come at us, they come at the women. Like I told you before, I've been watching them with my mom since 1999 when she took her shirt off.
Deal with Brandy, yep.
Yeah, when Brandy took her shirt off and got it going. That's when I first started. Me and my mom, we get up late, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning to watch it and everything like that. So this is a real thing for me watching. I do enjoy it. It is exciting. And as far as the betting, I'd bet on them anytime I can, especially if you can get them for plus money or even money, and their goal totals, especially early, are going to be massive. So
it's going to be exciting. I'm already excited talking about it. I know it's about a month away still, but that's going to be coming at us. Not even a month. Actually, it's only a couple of weeks away, I believe.
Yeah.
July 9th. Is that what we're looking
Yeah,
for?
but
It's in there. It's quick. It's coming
somewhere.
up.
It's somewhere soon. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and I would imagine if they aren't yet, by the end of the week they will be together getting ready.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's really cool it's really cool to know a lot of these girls a lot of these women play together as well. So you could see the chemistry on there. But the send-off match presented by Visa will be taking place July 9th at PayPal Park in San Jose, California. So that will be a friendly against, I believe, before they depart for New Zealand. So that's going to be super exciting. So if anyone's out in California, let us know if you're going to see the U.S. Women's National Team, what they're looking like. I know anyone who's going to be betting on this team is going to be tuned into that game to see how that chemistry is working, what the lines are looking like, and who's being put on that field. Cam, something else that came relevant this week is the betting rules in the NFL. I want to briefly touch on this because it seems so ridiculous to me that the NFL is making such a spectacle out of the fact that these are grown men getting in trouble for betting on sports. And now they are making every rookie go through seminars. They changed so many different rules and have laid them out so black and white. And the only reason I'm saying this is because I understand that so many players are getting in trouble for this. I do. But these are grown men. To say that they don't understand the rules is atrocious. They know exactly what they're doing. They know when it's wrong. They know when it's right. For the NFL to be going out of their way and making this such a spectacle is what's really getting me. The 6 key rules that they have written out: don't bet on the NFL, obviously. Don't gamble at your team facility while traveling on a road game or staying at a team hotel. Don't have someone bet for you. Don't share team inside information. First of all, if you're a professional athlete wanting to win at any level, why are you sharing information? Don't enter a sports book during the NFL playing season, and don't play daily fantasy football. I don't really understand the fantasy football thing, besides maybe if someone sees your roster set, they might feel like that's inside information of some sort, but fantasy football really doesn't tell me anything. But what are your thoughts on the fact that I feel like this is being printed out in kindergarten rules on a wall?
Well, it is very, 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 very childlike, but there's been several guys, we've seen the guys get punished. Even Calvin Ridley here in Atlanta, he might have been the start of it. He lost an $8 million contract on a $1,500 parlay. You saying it's 7-year-old, 8-year-old, kindergarten rules, whatever it seems like. That's how these guys are acting. Then the very first thing I think of is Pete Rose. Gambling in sports. Don't gamble on what you're doing. Because the NFL thinks you can indirectly affect it. And if you're a skill position player, probably can. If you got the ball, you probably can, but they're gonna bet, and I don't know if it's been announced. Maybe Lenny knows, but apparently that's exactly what it is. They're just that's exactly what it is
for sure.
But I saw where there is apparently an NFL player that lost more than $8 million betting last year. I haven't seen his name. If anybody has seen his name, Lenny, if you know who his name is, they're betting. They're betting. But to me, I think the betting needs to be portrayed more towards the coaches.
Yeah.
Because, the coaches, Hannah, you got to come out. Lenny, you go in. Cam, you go in. Go get him. The coaches are putting who's on the field, calling the plays, calling the sets. They're going to bet. They're going to do it. It's just going to happen. Because, 10 years ago, betting wasn't really a thing in sports. But now every commercial break, there's a promo. The announcers are saying it. First take. It's everywhere. Betting is a thing. They're going to bet. You just got to figure out a way to let them bet and to let it be okay. But for sure, don't bet on your own sport. That's the best thing. Don't bet on whatever you want, but don't bet on your own sport. Because
I think that's just where it's getting ridiculous. Why would you bet on your own sport in general? I mean, this is just common sense. And for a guy like Calvin Ridley's sake, was that parlay really worth the $8 million at this point? You are making so much money. Do you need to make more off of that right now? Absolutely not. What is the point of that? So I think it's just getting a little ridiculous that it's being pushed in there, that if any of these professional players bet on their own sport and get caught, I'm sorry, it's your fault. And I can no longer feel bad about it. And I no longer feel it's ridiculous because this is so simple. It's stupid.
You're right. I mean, they've even said, they haven't even said, don't bet. Don't bet on the league you're in. And I feel like, it was him that lost $8 million.
Was it Rogers? Okay.
Is that what I'm saying? It was him. But don't bet on your own sport. Just don't.
It's simple. Just don't do it. And that's what the NFL is coming out. And that's why they had to spell it out as the number one rule. Don't bet on the NFL, period. Any way, shape, or form, don't bet. Don't outside bet. Don't find someone to bet for you. Do nothing of it. But in here on Bet Win Repeat, everyone can bet. Thank goodness. Hopefully those tuning in. So we're in luck when it comes to that. But Cam, I have a question for you in terms of MLB and things happening this week. What are some of your best bets or things that are up on the website right now?
I have a ton of baseball going on right now. That's all we have. We're 70 something days from college football, and it's even longer to other sports. It's dog days of summer. But no, I'm really with the baseball right now. I have a 3-1 day yesterday. The Detroit Tigers, Lenny, were actually my only loss yesterday. But I have 4 more plays on the board today. And I've really been just trying to ride hot streaks. Some teams are getting hot. Some teams are doing work. And I've really been trying to watch the bad teams, as crazy as that sounds, because if they're not winning, they're not going to win, because they're in about a couple of weeks, they're going to overhaul their roster like they always do. They're going to get guys off the roster to get more for the future. So teams that are losing, I am actually looking at that. Of course, the Braves have been a smoke show here in Atlanta. The Orioles have been fantastic. The Rangers have been fantastic. The Rays are still fantastic. But I'm trying to find streaks and trends and stuff, and I'm riding. I actually was on the Oakland train a little bit over a week ago when they got hot. And even though they were winning, they were still plus money or good value. So that's really what I've been trying to focus in on, trying to find streaks, trying to find good spots, trying to see what these bad teams are doing. Because the good teams are just the good teams. But
yeah, for sure. I feel like in football, I won't ride trends as heavily. But in baseball, with the amount of games that they're playing, you have to ride a trend every now and then because it's happening so frequently in back-to-back days that a trend is almost hard not to ride. So if you want to check out Cam Ross and what he's got going on over on the site, head over to picksandparlays.net. Use promo code MLB, get you 20% off of the entire site. I want to bring Lenny in right now too. So if Cam, you want to stay, you may. I want to talk about these Detroit Lions alternate helmets that came out. They're going to be wearing them, I hear, with the Color Rush Grays on October 30th, I believe it is. But we need to show everybody what these helmets look like. And from a Detroit guy yourself, I need to hear your inside thoughts on these helmets.
So I'll pull up the video here and pull this in here. Let me pull this off. This is just a side view of it. I mean, they did a whole like production thing here where like the Mustang pulls up for Rossley gets out, takes the helmet. Instead of grabbing that helmet, nope, that's the old one. We're gonna grab that new one out the bag. It's a whole thing, and then he puts it on the roof of the. That's a badass Mustang too, by the way, and that's the helmet right there, basically. I do have some other pictures here, but I like the helmet. I like it. I don't love it. This is probably a better view. Let me see if I can.
I like the color, but I just feel like there's so much going on the side. Like it's a very big in your face kind of.
Yeah, so that's maybe a better picture of it. That's the old logo, like the retro logo. So I like the color rush. I love the gray and the blue together. There's a picture here I have too that it's. I wish this thing would let me share to multiple screens, but I guess that's too much. But anyways, that's Aiden Hutchinson. I like the gray and the blue together. I do love that. I'm not necessarily, I think they could have did better. There's a lot of other ones that were out there that were concept-esque, that were, I like the black and the blue kind of deal, but I get what they're going with this one. I dig the old school logo. It's the thin line, and that's what we call it, the thin line. because it came out like in the 60s and everybody was starving apparently. And now we got a fat lion, and I like the fat lion. Maybe I'm partial to whatever, I mean, this logo, this lion, they just outlined this lion, gave him like 10 years ago. Before that, he was just a cartoon character. It looks very cartoonish. I'm not a fan of the logo. It's better. It's not great. That's where I'm at with it.
Cam, what are your thoughts on it? Because I think the lion logo, I get it's like the old heritage and they're celebrating the 90 seasons, and I get that, but I do think they could have done better, especially because of how cool that color is. And it's
that
never
blue,
wear.
You could really do a lot with that blue.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I want to know Cam's thoughts here on outsiders' thoughts, because now we've got our home dog. What's our outside guy thinking?
I like it. I'm a fan of the new stuff, as long as it's not, all the time, everything like that. But I do agree with you guys. I think they could have done more. It seems kind of real thrown together.
Oh no, they pushed that logo. That's the thing. It looks like that to outsiders. To us, they're shoving that logo down our throat. This retro logo.
No, I'm talking about just the whole helmet. I've seen the logo and all that, but I'm just saying, like, the whole. I feel like they could have done. I agree with you guys. I feel like they could have done more.
You know where they could have did better is a black face mask. You could have did better there, because this color rush too. I'll pull it up again. You could have did a whole lot better. I think when you just make the gray instead of the gray. I get it's going to match the uni, but I like the black. I like the retro black uniforms with the blue. It looked very longest yard prison type style.
Mean Machine.
That's like when I think of Detroit, that's what I would think about, right?
It looked badass. I don't know how else to say that. I know I sound like just a fan there, but it looked pretty. It looked like you were the king of the North, and nobody here came to fight but you. You
Yeah,
had kneecaps.
Does the lion have to be white, Lenny?
Not necessarily.
Because I feel like maybe if the lion was like gray, that could just draw your eyes to it.
So the two stripes that I'll pull it up again, that are behind the lion also go with that logo. And that's always blue and silver. That's Honolulu blue and silver. So
that's cool. But I'm just saying, like, I feel like
they kind of match that. Normally the body is like a gray, and his mane is like a white, is with that logo.
I just wish they wouldn't have used the lion. I think these could have been really cool, and because it's an alternate uniform, you didn't have to pay. You could have paid tribute. You could have given a nod to the
there
old.
There were so many other ones
without actually having to use it.
Are you saying just stripes,
in the mix?
Yeah, either just stripes or like a cooler looking logo. Something.
I don't know if you guys can see that, but you see that?
Yes. See,
that was all powder blue.
Yeah,
or like Honolulu focused, and then
even the grill is a different color, like you said.
Yeah. See, like those scream color rush to me.
Right. Now that's the blue lion, blue stripe, blue face mask, and then the silver helmet.
Yeah, but see, even right there, that lion is blue.
Pops. Yeah, it pops.
Yeah.
Right. Oh yeah.
It's loud. Maybe
that lion is pouncing. That's the idea. This lion is pouncing. He's jumping. This other lion, he's looking for food, man. He's starving. He's thin. I don't know.
Feed him.
Yeah,
to feed that boy.
Something.
So maybe that's the thought process in marketing. We're gonna put out a thin lion because we're gonna eat this year. We're gonna eat.
Yeah. I do like the overall uniform. I think the overall uniform is awesome. I'm just not a huge fan of whatever this little cartoon logo is going on. I think they could have made it really badass, and I like that one that was kind of black. I thought that would have been cool.
I love that one.
Yeah, I thought.
I'm a fan of the gray unis, though.
Yeah,
I do like the gray unis have grown on me.
Yeah.
Because before that they were black and very similar to that one helmet. It was like a black gray, whatever. And again, it looked badass. It looked, Michigan Correctional Facility badass kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Because I was actually watching the College World Series, and Tennessee was wearing their gray ones with the orange letters.
I'll tell you what's really nice is the all whites they wear with the blue, and if they wear it in the winter and it snows. It's so crisp and so clean. It's just don't.
You can't even see them,
huh?
You can't even see them.
can't even see them. You
You
can't
see
see
out there. You
can't
can't see
them.
those lines out there in Detroit.
Where are
Yeah,
the lines? Is
exactly.
the ball's just floating?
Rickett says they looks like Frozen to me. Yeah, maybe an El. Man, it's fine. I'll take the Elsa.
You know, you can't win them all. Everyone's going to have an opinion, though. I was just so curious to hear what Detroit Lenny thought about the Detroit alternate uniforms. I do like the fact that the NFL allows it, though. I think it's fun. I think it's cool. But I just get so confused when I look at these. And I think too many teams look toward paying respect to what had happened. And not enough of them are thinking new wave with all of this stuff. Like, you understand the 90 seasons of what's happened, but let's move forward. Let's think about the future, futuristic. Give me something new and fresh. Yeah. Set the tone for now.
I literally in this group chat when we're going back and forth, and I showed you those helmets. My one buddy says, "Well, it's an homage to the retro, or whatever." And he goes, "F the past, we've sucked forever. It's time to look to the future and move a future helmet." And I was like, "That's exactly what you just said."
That is how they should have branded this. They should have said, like, looking ahead, new Lions, new this. The future is here.
Not your same. We have a saying in Detroit, and it's called "Same Old Lions." And I'm telling you right now, these are not your same old Lions. As we said last year, we're saying it again this year. We need a not the same old Lions helmet.
Yeah, well, we have the same old Lions helmet, unfortunately. Besides the uniforms being cool and besides the coloring of it, topic for another day. Everyone let us know on our Picks and Parlays social media pages what you think. Tweet at us, like, subscribe, share. Look into all of our YouTube content. Also, head over to picksandparlays.net. Use promo code MLB. It's going to save you 20% off the entire site. This has been Bet Win Repeat. That's Cam the Man. This is Detroit Lenny. I'm Hannah Mears. And until next time, live Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern. We'll see you soon.
Boom.
Boom.